The views and comments expressed on the following radio program by its hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the views of RMCOnAir.com or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Watch the tone arm as the infrared sensing device searches for your next selection. Track number 1. Join you there.
Congratulations on being the owner of the finest turntable in the world. But like any other sophisticated instrument, your turntable has a few basic requirements.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Zo What Morning Show. You know how we do. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We missed you last week. Zo had some other business to attend to, so we couldn't do a show. But we're back in the building, and I urge you to call us tonight, or today, this morning, 323-965-1600. Zo What Mornings is comprised of a couple of folk. Of course, I'm the philosopher, Zo Williams, and not everything I say is correct. Jesus. Everybody's complaining, oh, he makes mistakes, and you do too when you talk. Thank you. Anyway, call us. We want to get your opinion on something, because in the second hour, we're going to be talking about God, the reality of God. Does God exist? Is that a real situation, or is it a delusion to make us feel better, to get us through difficult moments? What's the difference between religion and spirituality? I don't know. I need your opinion. Call us 323-965-1600. And you know how the show is set up. I like to go through a lot of current events and topics and stories today, and I want your opinions on that as well. 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything that's going on right now, I want to introduce my co-host. And while we're waiting on the third co-host, my brother is in the building. He's a good friend of mine, very smart, intelligent, wise brother. His name is Dr. Mark Goulston, author of Just Listen. And I urge you guys to go out and get his book. It's an incredible book, especially if you need that ever-elusive tool to make your relationships much easier. I call that tool conflict resolution. This book will teach you how to become a better listener so you can communicate and connect with your partner. So go get the book. Dr. Mark Goulston in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. You know, I wish I hadn't written Just Listen, because I've become a worse listener. And
Really?
so everyone expects you to listen since I wrote this book. And once you get me started, you can't shut me up. So it's
you
really
start interrupting.
It's become a curse. So I need all the self-help from this book that I can get.
You got to relearn what you taught in the book. That's great. Listen, Jeff Brown is on his way. He's one of the few people who still drives a horse and carriage, so it's going to take him a minute. But he will be here. The number to dial to contact this guy, I'm going to give you his personal number. It's 323-965-1600. That's his personal line. Please call Jeff Brown and urge him to get here on time. Before I got a few other things to take care of business-wise. I have a new book. I finished it a couple of weeks ago. It's now being edited and developed right now by my editor and publisher. It's crazy. It's called The Relationship Dismount. It's a book about how to properly break up, how to stick the landing. You know, sticking the landing is very important. And metaphorically speaking, in terms of relationships, you hate to bring a lot of relationship debris from the past. So when you stick the landing, that means, bam, it's clean. You're out of it, you know. So it's a great book, and it's being edited right now. Trust me, this February 2013, The Relationship Dismount. I did 12 chapters in 4 weeks. So pretty good stuff. Came out pretty well. The next step is The Voice of Reason. Zo Williams on Foxhole Radio. It's back. We came back last week Thursday, and we'll be back on the air this Thursday. So we're on both rmconair.com. We're on this channel, as well as Sirius XM Foxhole 98. So I'm really, really excited about that. So I'll be on this Thursday, but we have a new time for The Voice of Reason. It's from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So get at me if you got opinions about the Foxhole. If you want to know what's been going on with the Foxhole, like if you really want the uncut dirt on what's been going down, call me right now, 323-965-1600. I'm not gonna pull no punches. If you want, ask me anything about what's going on. I'll tell you.
You sound like Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger?
Now Schwarzenegger with his new book, I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to admit to what I did.
Get down now!
Learn from it and meet me at the mall to buy my book.
No, it's real talk though. Because a lot of the fans out there want to know what's going on with the Foxhole. Zoe's going to open up and answer all your questions. No holds barred, uncut. 323-965-1600. And then the next piece of business that I have is I need everybody in the sound of my voice to, donate to my son. My son, basketball, his program, Santa Monica High School. They have a website called iamathlete.com/donate. Samo High, that's SAMOHI. Please donate. They need uniforms, shoes, transportation, basketballs, all kind of stuff they need. And their season is about to start, and we're pushing. So that's iamathlete.com/donate. Samo High. All right? Get at me. That's the business. 323-965-1600. You're listening to Zoe What Mornings. Zoe, the doctor, and Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown's on his way. We're about to do this really quickly. What I want to do now is introduce our crack producer and resident chocolate studious journalist. She wants to be called Chuck. Somebody should call me and let me know if you agree if Chuck fits her or not. All right, she was born Mercedes, but she wants to be called Chuck. Somebody call us, 323-965-1600. Let us know what you think of that. It's crazy right now.
Why do you want to be called Chuck?
It fits me.
Better than Chalk? CHOC?
And we need Jeff.
I'm filling in poorly for the funny man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Chalk is cool.
Like chocolate is, I think,
Chuck
his
is
reference.
kind of cool. Chuck is cute, though.
So how'd you come up with Chuck?
I just did. I used to wear Chuck Taylors all the time.
Okay, now it makes sense, because I just did is not a good answer. 323-965-1600, please call us. What is our first topic on the agenda?
So our first topic is basically the government was funding researchers to use foster children to test out AIDS treatments.
What?
Yeah, and so the foster kids, they didn't have any representation, so
Right, they're foster kids. You don't belong to nobody.
They weren't being told like the side effects that could have on them or anything like that, and a lot of them got sick and were having really, really bad side effects, and they didn't have any rep.
Let me guess. Most of the foster kids were black.
We could guess that.
Or Latino, maybe. Right?
Yep.
So where is the source for the story?
It's from MSNBC.com.
Wow. Now, in what state or where was this happening?
So
or is this all over?
No, it's kind of all over. So in the 7 states that they were testing, it was Illinois, North Carolina, Colorado, Texas, Louisiana, Maryland, and New York.
Wow. Mm-hmm. They were testing AIDS treatment. Mm-hmm. Let me get this
on foster kids, children.
Wait, testing? Oh, they were testing a treatment.
AIDS
treatments.
So are these kids that already have AIDS, or is this a situation where they're introducing AIDS into these children's body to see what the treatment?
No, these are like healthy kids, and some of them have it, but they're just testing the treatment on them.
So this might not necessarily be a bad thing.
I mean, thus far, it hasn't proven to be good. It's more negative. A lot of them are getting sick, and they can't handle the treatment.
Wow.
So it hasn't turned out to be
Do they
good.
have anyone representing the children's rights? I mean, do these children even know that it's happening to them?
Well, the funny thing, they've been doing it for like multiple decades without anyone really knowing or noticing. But as of like recently, they did make it where the kids have to have a rep that knows a little bit about medicine and law to represent them. But they're reporting, MSNBC.com is reporting that the children's representatives aren't doing their job, or some of the children aren't really getting the reps that they are legally supposed to have.
So just without their permission, come here, let me try AZT. That's an AIDS HIV treatment, AZT. Let's just try AZT on crack to see, what the effects will be, right? Mm-hmm. Without any permission, and sometimes the children are seeing adverse effects because of that.
Right.
Wow. That
seems morally wrong. I mean, it seems awful to me. I mean, that to test kids with new things without their permission and without an advocate? I mean,
But I think the assumption is they're foster kids. They don't belong to anybody. So we don't really have to ask anybody. And that's just an indication of corporate America. That's a loophole. Those kids represent a living loophole. Like, hey, they don't have representation. Let's just use them. And we can bypass asking somebody, or we can bypass the moral question and just test on them to get the results we need. I mean, we know what the pharmaceutical industry is about in America, correct? I mean, you're a doctor. Talk to us about it. Talk to us about the pharmaceutical industry, Doc. Prescribe us something, why don't you?
I think, I think they're more part of the corporate world than they are more about, really helping people. I mean, look, everybody has a bottom line to survive. Mm-hmm. And so, if a company isn't making money, it's not employing people. But what I take issue with is that everybody. This is an interesting thing. I want to ask our listeners and ask you. Do you know what what I think the biggest double standard is?
What is it? Go ahead.
I'll check everyone here. I think the biggest double standard is most people do not really feel badly about bending the truth or cutting a corner. But when it's done to them, they go ballistic.
Absolutely. Who agree? First off, who disagrees with that? 323-965-1600. I agree with that 100% because most people don't mind being manipulative, lying, taking advantage so that they can have the upper hand. But when the exact same thing happens to them, it's, oh God, all hell is broke loose. I'm a victim. I've been wronged. I think that's a reality for most people. What do you think, Chuck? She's too young to know.
Chuck, what do you think?
I think that as far as like morally, I think that they're doing it because people would first, they would look at it and say, oh, that's so wrong. They don't have representation. But what if they did find like a cure? Then people would be like, oh, that's good. You know what I mean? So
those
brave foster kids.
I don't know.
I think people would find
I'm getting
it good
flashbacks around of Nazi Germany. Where they just they tested on all kinds of people, all kinds of things, and I think this is a different country, and there's a saying that the measure. I think Gandhi said it. The measure of a civilization is how it treats those who are weakest in it.
You know what? You know what I would like to do? Maybe Felicia could get this up for me because this is going to go into something else as well. And George Carlin has a piece called American Bullshit. And a lot of times we get bullshitted by belief systems. Like, just to piggyback on what you just said about this country and what it stands for. He brought up a great point, George Carlin did, about how although it says equal rights and inalienable rights and all of this, and these people were slave owners, white men, right? Women couldn't vote, Indians couldn't vote, black people couldn't vote. The only people that could vote were white men, but they spoke, eloquently and beautifully in the Constitution that spoke about equality. So I believe, just like you pointed out earlier, in terms of people lying and manipulating for their own gain, but hating it when it comes back, I believe this country was built on hypocrisy in some degree.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, all the people using these foster children without really their permission or proper representation. What would be interesting is to reach out to those people and ask them, how would you feel about something being done to you? How would you feel about being tested for something without your permission? Be interesting to see, and it might further medical science. And by the way, you actually should volunteer yours or your children because you're there, aren't you, to try to develop things? So why don't you offer up yourself or your children, inform your children and say, hey, we're going to help the world be better before you, well, to piggyback on what Zoe said, before you offer up nobody's children.
This is a great idea. What if it was like, remember the Army? remember the draft, like you're going to get drafted regardless once you turn 18. What if it was like that? What if it was, if you have a certain amount of kids, one of those children has to be used for the betterment of everybody. One of those kids have to be tested on. One of those kids have to be tested. What if it was like a prerequisite in the country we live in? You remember before the draft, it was like, when you turn 18, either you're going to college or you're going to one of the armed forces. There was not a lot of, I don't want to do that. Remember, you could go to, Muhammad Ali went to jail. He was like, I'm not going. Okay, well, if you don't go, you got to go to jail because that's part of your civil duty as an able-bodied man. Remember? What if it was, hey, if you got multiple children, say 3, one of them got to be tested. What if that was a part of your American duty? Most Americans would be moving somewhere, I think. Somebody call us and tell us, 323-965-1600.
It's all the same about whatever happened with this idea of mandatory service after high school or college. So, in Israel, they have mandatory service.
Yes.
To help the country or the community. And
well, most of the Israeli children, especially the young men, are soldiers.
Right.
It's just right off the top. You're going to be a soldier because they're trying to protect those borders over there.
And what about these things where they float these ideas where, well, why don't we have our politicians get the same health care coverage as the people they're representing? Because there's a real double standard there. Wow,
that's crazy. Let's do this really quickly. Do we have another story on top? If you want to chime in on this story, please call me at 323-965-1600. We are on the Zoe What Morning Show. Zoe, the doc, and Jeff Brown is on his way. Somebody call me right now, 323-965-1600. What is the next topic we have?
So we have Wired Magazine. They obtained a U.S. Army document that basically said if people are, whoever's frustrated with mainstream.
No, hold on to this topic. I have to wait for Jeff to come. Oh, God. We got to wait for Jeff on this one.
Okay.
What's the next one?
Digital addiction.
As a matter of fact, this is what we're going to do. I want to take a quick break. Do you have that George Carlin piece? Please. Okay, when we come back, I want to play this George Carlin piece. But we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to finish the topics. And then we're going to rattle through these topics. And then we're going to get into the discussion of is God real or
Jeff
not.
Jeff is here, so when we come back.
All right, cool. We'll be back at 2.2.
So love walked past, the losing dice is cast. I put my fancies one more time upon a shelf. So love walked past. So love walked past, the losing dice is cast. I put my fancies one more time upon a shelf.
Where would we be without our safe, familiar American bullshit? Land of the free, home of the brave, the American dream. All men are equal, justice is blind, the press is free, your vote counts. Business is honest, the good guys win. The police are on your side. God is watching you. Your standard of living will never decline. And everything is going to be just fine. The official national bullshit story. I call it the American okey doke. Every one of those items is provably untrue at one level or another, but we believe them because they're pounded into our heads from the time we're children. That's what they do with that kind of stuff. They put it in the heads of kids. They pound it in there because they know kids are too young to be able to mount a sophisticated argument against these kind of ideas. And so kids, and up to a certain age, by the way, kids are going to believe everything a grown-up tells them, everything. So kids never learn to question things. Nobody questions things in this country anymore. Nobody questions things. Why? People are too fat and happy. People are way too fucking prosperous for their own good. Everyone's got a cell phone that'll make pancakes and rub their balls now, you know? So nobody wants to rock the boat. And people just gizmo. Americans have been silenced, bought off and silenced by gizmos and toys. And as a result, no one's ever learned to question things. No one questions things in this country. No one questions things. Now, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Carlin,
The silver douche.
legendary comedian. Woo! Dropping science. You're listening to the Zoe What Morning Show. I'm the philosopher, Zoe Williams. And the comedian has made it into the building, Jeff Brown. Ladies and
What's up?
he has a great excuse. What was your excuse for being late?
There is never an excuse,
Oh,
but
a
I have a reason.
Let's give it up.
Today is my lovely daughter Bailey Gabrielle Brown's birthday. She is 9.
All right, congratulations.
I went to her school.
Congratulations.
Gave her her birthday card and her gift in front of other girls, because that's how girls like it. Girls, your gift ain't shit if it ain't given to her in front of other people that can be jealous about it.
You figure deals. And of course, the doctor, Mark Goulston is in the building.
You scored some points there, Jeff.
Are you kidding? That's big with ladies.
You know, it's crazy.
Don't give a damn about your flowers at the house, nigga. Bring them to work.
Right.
I need these other women to hate me. Oh,
that's good stuff. You know what's crazy? My daughter hates when we walk home. You know, sometimes I'll go pick her up from school, and if she doesn't see me in my car, she sees me standing there, and she's like, "Oh Jesus,
God,
we're walking." We're walking. But every time we walk home, because I'm telling her, you got to stay active. You don't want to play sports. You want to draw. But you're athletic. Well, okay, I'm not going to force any athletic.
Draw and do some sit-ups or something.
Right. So we are walking to school.
Jeff, you should write a book, 101 ways to
make your... Didn't he say he was a terrible listener?
Make your lady...
I was telling a story.
Well, sorry.
Did I do that this time?
No, that was Mark Goulston.
That written down.
He just told me he wrote a book about listening. And then he just started talking in the middle of a story.
I just needed known. Let it be known that it was not Jeff Brown this time. That's all I'm saying.
I have cognition interruptus.
I see. No, but what happened was, to speak to your story, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Every time me and my daughter walk home, a group of her girls that she knows at school, they go, "Bye, Prima, Daddy's girl," and then she covers her face.
Oh, that's funny.
So I can relate. Now, Mark, finish your story. Jesus.
No, I was just thinking, you guys should write a book, 101 ways to make your lady feel special, embarrass the crap out of her.
Okay, we're gonna work on the title, but I feel
Yeah.
No,
I think
that was a good
yeah.
point. No, because when you make, well, that's another point. How big is jealousy in this world? Jealousy and envy. And when you do something for someone, is it run the risk of making other people they know, instead of grateful and congratulations, jealous and envious and want to shoot them down?
What do you feel the difference is between jealous and envy, Doc?
Envy is you wish you could have what someone else has. Jealousy is you wish they didn't have what they had.
Oh, wow.
That's good stuff.
You want to punish them for what they have because it makes you feel so deprived. Envy, like I can envy my children's youth. I could envy that they have their whole future ahead of them.
Right.
But jealousy means I hold it against them. I begrudge it.
Wow, that's good stuff. 323-965-1600. If you're just tuning in, it's the Zoe What Morning Show, and we're talking. Now we're going to do this really quickly.
I had a little point to make.
I'm sorry, make your point.
Those of you who have I know you hating or envy or some form of that on your license plate, no one envies you. No one cares about the payments you're making on your car.
Nobody cares about how many payments you got left?
No. That's what the dude waiting on the bus got on you. He ain't got no payments. How about that?
But he's on the
Let me tell you something. He didn't buy the money to buy the car. He didn't do that.
Wow. He okay. 323-965-1600. Somebody call us right now. We're about to get into a topic that I know Jeff is passionate about.
Right on.
God. Is it true or false? Is it a real situation? What's the difference between spirituality versus religion? I don't know. But I know some callers out there do. 323-965-1600. Chuck Doe has a key ring over here. Put it on Chuck so she can show the world her key ring. Okay. It says, Jesus is what?
My driver.
Jesus is my driver. Hallelujah.
Is
that like one of the new Prius driverless cars that they're promoting?
Oh, Jesus.
You know, the last thing Jesus was piloting was a donkey, for the record.
So you saying Jesus doesn't even know how to drive?
Jesus don't got no driver's license.
323-965-1600. Talk to us. Is religion ruining our lives?
Your keys falling through the hole in his hand? What's he doing?
The keys are falling through the holes in his hand?
Jesus is driving.
Oh.
He's a little bit too busy, according to y'all, running a universe than to drive your damn car, Chuck.
Okay, so before we get into it, because I want the callers to participate, before we get into it, let's do this. We have one more story that I wanted to cover that specifically speaks to Jeff. Chuck, can you tell us what this story is about?
Yes. Okay, so Wired Magazine, they obtained a U.S. Army document that basically said people who believe in government conspiracies are could be categorized as potential violent radicals and potential terrorists. They also point out ways to notice if these people could be potential risk to the country.
Okay. Wow. So we can't even say 9/11 looked like some bull. Straight up.
How far
Hey, why did building number 7 just collapse and it wasn't even hit? How did that happen? It's 3 blocks away. How did that happen?
It has it says if someone complains about biases and then is sympathetic to radical groups, be aware.
What is a radical group? Somebody who stands up and questions?
That would be the founders of this country, right?
Weren't they radicals?
I think they were terrorists.
They were terrorists against the throne.
Yes.
At the throne of England, at the very least, right?
So is it that we don't have any bullshit to rally against? Is that what it is? Are we bullshit free?
I think what it's about is they're talking about being a fanatic. So I think if you're a fanatic, you're not open to any kind of reason. You're not open to listening. And so what they're saying is, I think, is that people who are conspiracy theorists and they really get into it, they're fanatical about it. So you can't get through to them, and they begin to believe whatever they believe is true, and they see that as a justification for doing whatever they do to be true.
Okay. So concomitantly, belief is one thing, but the behavior on the other end is what makes it a problem.
Just because you're paranoid don't mean you're wrong.
That's what I was about to say. You could be a fanatic and still be correct. But what I think the doctor just pointed on was a good point, which is being fanatical in your ideas is one thing, but physically carrying your ideas through is the next.
So really, really being fanatical about the fact that this land belongs to you just because you saw it, not because you saw it first, is one thing. Marching Indians across the plains with smallpox on their blankets so that you don't have to use bullets. Oh, that's another.
That's the thing that gets me. We could talk about this too, man. Our whole society is based on this uppity, moralistic, the Constitution makes us unique and special, but the Constitution are a bunch of ideas that most of us, at least our government officials, have never lived up to in the 200 or 300 years that we've been, espousing to be this great country.
And
does that make us terrorists because we recognize the reality there? Let the white man speak. He represents them. Let Whitey Locks talk on it.
Let the Whitey Locks. Oh my God! Hear ye. Henceforth and forevermore, the Zoe Williams Morning Show. The official lead-in to the doc is let the white man speak.
The white man is here to validate or invalidate all claims made by two Negroes to his right.
That's hilarious. Let the white man speak. You silly Negroes, shut up.
Silence, little boys.
Keep your place.
Keep your place, Negroes. I believe somewhere on this planet there's some cotton that is going unpicked.
Oh, no.
Shut up. Silence, you Negroes. There are uneaten watermelons everywhere.
They have boots unshine. Tend to them.
Oh, but you know what?
I'm glad you said that. You know what? I
don't say none of
would
this
have been
shit.
lynched if I said what you
Don't
just
say
said.
no.
Don't do it.
No, niggas ain't got rope, but they got bullets. They got rope. You ain't gonna get lynched. You picked the wrong death, Doc. But go on and speak. Let the white man speak.
About it. Yes.
Now, I was thinking about something else about fanatics and all this stuff. I think there is a disease that people need to feel special. That if you are just ordinary, there's something unacceptable about that. Yeah, and I think many people, including maybe the three of us, are kind of seduced by the need to feel special in some sort of way.
Right.
And so I think some of these conspiracy theorists and a lot of the people who get in the news for bad stuff, they get their moments of fame. And I think you made a good point. Jeff made a good point, although I think he's having himself a seizure here.
Oh, my God.
But do you have Tourette's? Is that what
Yes,
makes
he
you so
does.
funny?
Yes, it's
Dude,
comic
yeah.
Tourette's. He'll
No,
be all right.
musician Tourette's. All right.
But he made a good point. I think when you actually talk about what was that say?
What does it doesn't say
beat-
anything.
This beat is crazy.
But let the doc finish about his point about
Go
people
ahead,
trying
man.
to be
Go on,
special.
dude.
Go on, dude.
I'd much rather watch.
Is God
Jeff
real or no?
Don't watch. Close your eyes and make your point. I ain't gonna act like I don't hear this.
What's interesting is there's nothing that he's hearing right now.
Sometimes
Right.
that happens.
There's
You know
no
what I'm saying?
sound,
Sometimes
right?
that happens. That's when I go in my studio because I'll hear it in here and go, I gotta lay that down.
It's GB Wonder.
But
can't help it, man.
But
That's
the
dope.
funny man, who's very smart, he made a good point that there's one thing, unless it was Zoe who said this, I don't know.
Most
but,
likely it was me.
But it's one thing to think about things, but I think when thinking about something crosses over into doing,
Right.
it's a slippery slope. And I think what happens is, I think a lot of people can relate to that. That boy, if I started to take action, if I let the whatever it is, the cat out of the hat or something, I won't ever get it back. So so I think that's also what's going on, is that some people who feel unimportant in this world, when they happen upon something that allows them to feel like somebody, they are often desperate to keep holding on to it, because when you feel like somebody and you go back to anybody, you feel like nobody.
Right.
And so I think when they take action, it's wow.
But don't you think it's still kind of stepping on the constitutional rights, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press? At the end of the day, I don't have to agree with the policies and the beliefs of the American government. I mean, even in the Constitution, it states that if the people, the republic...
That's not what we're talking. What we're talking about is that it seems like people who are conspiracy theorists or fanatics have a mindset that is not that different from people who are can be terrorists. I
So
think they were
is
making an
Jesse the
association.
Body Ventura a terrorist? He's one of the biggest.
Yeah, following that logic. And
That logic,
And
right.
furthermore, the biggest terrorist on the planet is the United States government. Where have we been to war that we left?
Wherever
Nowhere.
we go, we stay.
Wherever we go, we stay.
We like herpes.
There is a that's hilarious. I mean, the concept that the
American military is like herpes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You don't never get rid of it.
You catch them, they ain't
Dude,
never leaving.
I was in the Marines.
Is there
I
a
got
war on
out.
herpes? No,
No.
it
No,
should be,
yeah.
should
I
be.
got out of the Marines 25 years ago, and still, my wife plays this trick on me every now and then. She'll come in the room and flip the lights on to see me jump out of the bed.
Wow.
I'm still programmed to that
Wow.
to this day. So you can't. There's a lot of stuff you can't shake.
Wow.
But my point is to say to put those concepts purely on one or two or three stem cell type individuals. To me, and not just to say it to you, Doc, that's kind of on some bullshit, because this government is the major perpetrator of what you just said. Whatever we think we want to do, we'll just start doing it. Y'all just don't find out till 10 or 15 years later.
Well, and as of late, you guys find out in weeks, in months
weeks, yeah.
later. Because think of George W. Bush. He went all the way off the Constitution. He went back to Roman society, because in Roman society, one man could, the Caesar could suspend democracy in
Right.
times of war. And that's what he did, and he just went wild. And I'm talking about George W. Bush.
Oh, yeah,
now. Come on.
G-Dub.
I mean, he set up Guantanamo Bay.
Biggest gangster in history.
Guantanamo Bay, there is no constitutional precedent for that. We don't even have to tell you why you here.
Right.
And
right.
we don't know when you going to leave. And we're going to do whatever we want to do to get whatever information we think you have out of you.
Yeah.
Because remember that whole waterboarding
Yeah, I was about to say
situation? I mean, come on now, come on.
waterboarding sounds like something you do at Manhattan Beach. But that's not how
That's
it's about
not
to go
how
down.
it works, right? Listen, call us right now if you agree or disagree. Should conspiracy theorists be deemed terrorists? Is it wrong to speak out? And Dr. Mark made the great point. He backed up my point. I just think you should be able to say whatever in the hell you want to say, when you want to say it, how you want to say it, just as long as you don't carry things out. But unfortunately, we live in a society where things get carried out. 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. We want to talk about religion now.
Okay, is that what? Because I have.
This is a good transition
Yes,
for
sir.
religion as well.
Okay.
Most of the fanatics who carry stuff out,
In the name of the Lord.
be in the name of the Lord.
This is what Jesus wants. He wants us
Isn't
to
it
roll
against-
through and kill all y'all.
Isn't it against, I think they're written in the law, even though freedom of speech, I think it's against the law to yell fire in a crowded building or something.
Absolutely.
I think. So I know it's apples and oranges.
Not really, but that's a great point. Not really. Go deeper.
Because why is that against the law? Because it could incite panic, which is not in the public welfare to incite panic. So the question is, and I actually agree with you, you should be able to say what you feel, but is there the possibility of inciting antisocial kinds of things by speaking in a certain way to people that are vulnerable to seeing that as the gospel
Why?
as opposed to entertainment?
Why, yes, they call them Fox News.
Great point.
They call them Fox News. baby.
Isn't Rush Limbaugh an inciter?
Okay.
Doesn't he incite a lot of bull just by telling lies? I mean, come on now. It's his job to represent an imbalanced perspective. But so Fox is the invert of that.
Oh my God. I don't see, this is what I'm saying. Every point, it's going to be hard for you to make a point about fanaticism or terrorists or one-off individuals that at this point in time does not point directly to the government in power. It's just going to be hard. I don't see how you can do it. But then again, let the white man speak.
Okay, so Jeff, describe a government that deserves to be in power.
Describe a
Ooh,
government.
that is a great question. Say it again. Let that. Does somebody have Twitter?
Describe a government, or maybe since we're in the presidential campaign, describe a government or leaders of a government that deserve to be in power. What is it? What is it?
Never had that put to me that way, but I
That
tell
is
you what,
awesome.
I will have something for your ass next week.
No, you don't get to have it for
I don't
next.
have it for next week.
No.
You have
Okay.
too much ADD. You won't remember it past 1 o'clock.
I bet you I will. I bet you I'll put
I'll
it
bet
in this
I
damn
forget it.
phone. because I don't like being left speechless because I don't have
No,
nothing to say
that
for
was
that.
awesome.
To be honest, I can't tell you who deserves.
Can we flip it
to be in
around?
power.
Can we flip it around? Can we add on? Does Obama deserve to be in power?
I don't think Obama is in any true power. I don't think
You're a conspiracy theorist. That is the
Absolutely.
president of the United States, and we do not adhere to any disrespect of the president. The black man, you will not disrespect the black man.
I say the same thing that Brother Minister Farrakhan said. I think Obama is brilliant. I think he's dedicated. I think he's capable. But I am under no illusion that, nor was I ever, that the national anthem was going to be changed to flashlight. That all of a sudden all black people's problems was going away. The presidency is a roller coaster, and right now the black dude is in the front seat. That's all that's about. Okay? It's the people who are not elected that run this country. The lobbyists, the people with money. I say that democracy and capitalism cannot possibly exist together. Can't possibly. Anytime you can buy votes.
Would you agree
this
that
is good
you
stuff.
deserve something versus being entitled to it, but you deserve something by earning it? So what would a president need to do to earn the right, being deserving of being the president? So what do they need to do that would earn them that?
I don't know. I'd have to take that
This
question.
is great. Let's follow that line of thinking.
Okay. I would have to take that question out of the context of this government paradigm, because in order to
I can answer it.
Yes, you
Let me
take a
answer.
stab after this monkey knuckle bullshit I do. The presidency is the top of a huge shit hill. You must climb that hill, and it is impossible to not get some shit on you and be that high. So there is nobody deserving. There is nobody clean after climbing a shit hill.
I think a person deserving of power should be rooted in personal integrity. But the problem, politics is what you said, dirty. So it's almost like my belief is an unrealistic expectation. You have to be truthful. You have to be honest. You have to be for the people first. If you understand American politics, it's a republic. It's not necessarily a democracy. It's supposed to be of and for the people and to the republic for which it stands.
I used to say for Richard stands.
Right? It's supposed to be about what the people say. But because capitalism has integrated itself in every corner of American politics, that means our politicians can now be purchased and bought by lobbyers. Or what did they call it? They call it pork, where you put pork in whatever bill. This bill has a lot of pork in it.
Right.
All that means is the lobbyists have put a lot of money into it, and they're buying their interest. So if our politicians can be purchased, how are the people being represented correctly?
Yeah, we need to put stop signs on every corner, and we need to put poison in the water. Let's add that to the stop sign thing. See, that's the problem.
Okay, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, phone calls 323-965-1600 is the number to dial. Zoe What Mornings, the doctor, the comedian, and the philosopher Zoe Williams will be back in 2.2. Holla!
Man, turn that up. That is ridiculous.
Taxes, and they always need a little more. Now, you talk about a good bullshit story. Holy shit.
Woo! George Carlin.
Some of the best comedy ever told.
Man, if young cats, if y'all not up on George Carlin, he worked with Richard Pryor. He worked with Paul Mooney. I mean, he was in Car Wash.
Writer on the Sanford and Son.
I mean, come on, George Carlin, legendary comedian. If you want, I mean, he's one of those intellectual comedians. If we look at, say, someone like Chris Rock, who's considered a smart comedian, you know, his lineage and roots go not only through Richard Pryor, but there's a piece of George Carlin and Chris Rock. You guys got to check out George Carlin if you're not hip to him.
Comedy Mount Rushmore.
Man, he's cold. Listen, Zoe What Morning Show. We're back in the building. The doc, the comedian, and of course the philosopher Zoe Williams. Again, I want to remind all of you, new book, Zoe Williams, The Relationship Dismount: How to Stick the Landing When Breaking Up. I'm telling you, it's how to let go, man. Yeah, man. Don't carry no relationship debris into your next situation. How to stick the landing and move on cleanly, man. The relationship dismount out this February 2013. I
I want to bring up I got a question for Jeff.
Yes, sir. Hold on.
I got a question.
Mark. Hold on.
I interrupted you.
Yes,
Jeez,
you
I
did.
should have
Yes, you
listened.
did. Yes, you
This
did.
book is going to be the death of me.
Exactly. Foxhole Radio, back in business, ladies and gentlemen. If you got any questions about Foxhole, call us 323-965-1600. I'm here to just spill the beans on everything. Foxhole is back, Voice of Reason, Thursdays, new time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Call, get at us. We're going to be back on the air. It's a great situation.
Foxhole Radio.
Exactly. And also, I need you to donate to my son's basketball team at iamathlete.com/donate/Samo High. That's SAMOHI. They need tennis shoes.
Samo High.
And jerseys, man. Get at me. Follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams. Now, Mark, go with your story.
After listening to George Carlin, who was a genius,
Absolutely.
what I'd like to know is why do you swear? Because does swearing make your point, or does it distract from it? Because sometimes I think swearing gets people's attention. Oh, he swore, but I think it runs the risk of distracting. Like, you are very, very smart, Jeff.
Thank you
You're
very
one of the
much.
smartest people I know, and I don't know if the swearing gets you more listened to.
You crying?
No, I smell like bovine feces just now. I'm one of the smartest people you know. You're a doctor. Come on. I might be one of the yeah.
Bullshit.
Okay, I'll tell you. Why do I swear? Let's get to it.
Bovine feces.
Call
Genius.
in. We like to know.
I will tell you why I swear. I swear because it feels good.
It's like busting one off.
Yes, sir. I don't know if you have ever hit your thumb with a hammer.
And not sworn.
No. Have you? Who do you know that hits their thumb with a hammer, drops the hammer, jumps around in their garage and goes, "Oh my God, I cannot believe the sheer velocity with which I have come down upon my opposing digit"? That is not what I say.
That's what I always say.
I say some words that I have been instructed not to say on the last break. That's what I say. When I discuss people in certain ways that make me feel certain ways, I have no intention of going to the top shelf of my vernacular. I'm going down in a funky ass basement. Can I say ass? Because that's where I go. That's where I go, because that's how I feel. And for me to not swear when I feel swearing is for me to be disingenuous. And I will not say that I never am, because when I get pulled over, I really passed the attitude test when I could give a damn about
Let me
these
ask you a
dudes
question,
outside the
Jeff.
window. Yes, sir.
This is great. Mark, chime in, please. If you were the president of the United States and you tolerated as much disrespect as President Barack Obama has, how hard would it be to hold back from cussing someone out? Go.
It wouldn't be hard for me because of the power that the president does have. He does not have ultimate power, but he does without question have the power to have you audited every 6 months. And I'm telling you what, I would have
Audited? What kind of diet presidency?
Audited,
Clinton
brother.
had a list of over 200 people out on the internet that he killed.
Right, okay.
That would be killing people.
Okay, you'd be okay.
You
I'd be
disrespect
marking them
them?
out.
You disrespect them?
Really?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, like what was the Sacha Baron Cohen movie? The one
That's
that
a
just came
conspiracy
out?
theorist. I guess I'm a terrorist.
What's the one that just came out?
Dictator.
Yes, oh my God, the scene where he hugged people and then point at his henchmen and go like, "This is the one. This is next."
Yeah.
Sacha Baron Cohen is a genius, by the way.
Hey, listen, if you guys are enjoying the music on today's show, that's our DJ. He's a classic DJ. He got wax in here. Technique 1200. You know, he got some vinyl. DJ Mr. Number Wonderful on the ones and twos.
Killing it.
Playing some fly tracks right now. It's all
Killing it.
gravy. Y'all should check him out. He got a website. What's your website again?
Well, you got to go to my Facebook.
What's the
It's
Facebook?
Mr. Number Wonderful.
Mr. Number Wonderful.
All spelled out.
Yes,
Yeah,
please
all
get
spelled
at the
out.
brother, man. He's a cold piece of work. You hear the beats, you hear the tracks. I got another question, though. Would America be better off if it was an atheist society?
Wow. I mean, I don't know, either atheist or
I mean, think of the course of politics.
weed pumped through every vent. But
I mean, think of the course of politics, the course of history.
yes.
President Bush got that second term based off of gay rights and gay marriage. And he catered to the black church.
Oh, that's where they come when they want votes.
You understand? He had traditionally democratic people.
We gonna do what bishops say.
Doing what bishops say. Now, was Bishop being funding a little piece of cheese?
Are you kidding me?
Come on, somebody call us right now. How does religion influence politics, especially in a society where they're supposed to be separate between church and state? Somebody call us, 323-965-1600.
It's the pendulum. It's the talisman. It's the talisman. Watch this. I'm going to smack you upside your head with the other hand, but watch this.
Would Americans be smarter if this were an atheist society?
No.
Ooh.
No.
323-965-1600. Somebody call us and let us know what you think.
No. Americans are dumb.
But why?
Why? Because we believe what's in the magic box.
Isn't religion the magic box?
No, religion, I think, is outside the magic box. I'm going to tell you.
What would happen to America if you believed in nothing other than getting what you want when you want it?
Then we'd all be politicians.
Ooh, go deep.
That's good stuff. But I think we all are politicians. Are we not
Good point,
politicking
good
in
point.
our relationships? Are we not politicking at our work? Because before you walked in, Mark covered that when he talked about how everybody's a manipulator. And who's a better
On some
manipulator than a damn politician?
That's it. That's very true. They're just master manipulators. I don't say that you don't manipulate to get what you want, that you don't. The concept of manipulation, the word in its pure sense, is being vulgarized by vulgarity.
Would you say anyone that believes in anything then is a fool and naive?
No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
There's a fine line with that, though.
I believe. I'm going to tell you something right now with regard to belief in God. No one can make me believe that there is not a God because I've seen his naked hand too many times.
His hand isn't
the undeniable.
Unless a glove is
exactly. There's no religion glove on it.
Right.
Ain't no religion. Ain't no tithes on it.
Right.
When my grandmother, I'm gonna tell this quick story.
Go deep.
When I was 9, we went and looked in the refrigerator, and there was nothing in there but baking soda and the light. My grandmother made everybody hold hands. She dropped her head and said, Lord, I don't know where it's coming from, but I need $200 to feed this family.
And maybe that's a great, I think we have a caller.
Hold up, here go the booyah. 20 minutes later, my Uncle Gerald knocks on my grandmother's door with tears in his eyes and said, 20 minutes ago, this voice came to me and told me to come here and bring you $200. And we hadn't seen that dude in years. And I got 100 stories like that. So I believe there's a God. I don't believe the bullshit that's put between, I don't believe the bovine feces that is put between him and us.
And you know what? I don't believe. And maybe that's the question we ask the callers. Call in if you have a story that tells us that God is real in your life. Maybe it's not real religiously, but it's real experientially. Somebody call me right now, 323-965-1600.
Please
call us right now. We got a caller. What's the caller? Who's here? Who do we have on deck right now? Caller, you're on.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, brother. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on? This is Gio, just calling in.
What's up, player?
This is the way I look at religion. Now, I think, with us, me being African-American or black or nigger, whatever you want to call it, it's a different connotation for people of color when it comes to God. Now, this is the way I look at it. Do I believe there's a God? Yes. Is there a God in the way that we've been taught? No, because look at it like this. People always say that Jewish people say that they're the chosen people. Black people say they're the chosen people. Now, if God is supposedly our parent, correct?
Yes.
Now, how long are black people supposed to be on punishment?
Ooh. Wow.
For
2,000 years, I think.
You think about it, man. It's like we're the most religious. We're the most spiritual. We're the most forgiving. We go to the church probably more than anybody goes to church, and we still getting our ass kicked, man. So I'm not saying there's not a God, but we need to kind of figure out how we're going to look at God or Jesus or the higher being going into this into the future, because it obviously hasn't been working. Let's be honest.
Wow, that's a great point.
Grandmama been praying on her knees since slavery, asking for God to come save us and help us out and give us a better life and this and that. I don't know, man. How you feel, though, Jeff, the doctor? Please elaborate.
If I may say, bro, that you just dropped some science. But the question that you said was, or that put in my mind was, you said that this is not working. My question is, not working for whom? Okay, it worked for your grandmama. It worked for her because she comes from a people that were so deprived and so oppressed that a little bit seemed like a lot. If you walk across a desert for days and days and I give you a teaspoon of water, dude, that teaspoon of water is what's up. And what winds up happening is you start teaching your kids that this teaspoon of water is what's up. That walking across the desert is somehow noble when actually somebody has stolen an oasis from you.
It may have also helped your grandmother because by her believing, she felt less alone, and she felt a connection with something powerful, which may have helped her make it through feeling powerless and weak and despair and all that.
Absolutely.
So there's something to be said for feeling less alone. You know, the difference between pain and suffering is pain is just pain, and most people can live with it. Suffering is feeling alone in pain.
Wow.
And when you can take away aloneness, and if part of that is believing in a God, suffering you can't live with becomes pain that you can. So it may be that it helped her. Maybe it hasn't paid off in terms of all the stuff that, as you say, all blacks have had to live with
But
for
you know what
centuries.
I'm saying? It isn't just black people. It's people in general. And I think the doctor points out something really interesting here. My question is religion a placebo to get us through the pain? It's like a sugar pill. I'm a pray. Praying makes me feel better. Praying is a positive thought. Isn't there some research out there, some empirical data that talks about how praying actually helps people get better?
Yes.
When they're sick? Maybe it's the positive thought. Oh, wow. Oh, the poetess brings up a great point. Jeez. She says religion is to govern people.
Yeah.
I tend to believe it. Look at the word govern. It means limiter. If you have a governor on your throttle in a car,
It only goes so
it only
high.
goes so fast. I mean, if your governor is set to 35 miles, you can smash on the throttle.
And you ain't doing 36.
You're only going to just do 35 miles an hour. Is religion a governor to keep people locked into a certain way of thinking?
Of course.
Somebody call us 323-965-1600. Or is it a placebo it works as a bridge to get us over negative or difficult moments?
I got to tell you a weird thing. There was a book that came out 30 years ago by Julian Jaynes, Jaynes, and I think it's a weird title called The Origins of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. Basically, it said, how does it that man began to be conscious as opposed to animals? And some of the stuff that he cited, he said, for instance, when the pyramids were being built, never in the history of mankind could you get thousands of people cooperating to build something.
Unless,
and what happens is he believed that all of them heard the word of God commanding them to do so.
Yes, his name was Menkaure.
Yeah.
Because Menkaure was the physical manifestation of God. He was the Pharaoh.
Right. So
the Anunnaki did it.
So what Jane said, also one of the things he said is in cave life, there is no, which really explain a lot of everyday life. There is nowhere, and also in the hieroglyphics in the pyramids, is there was no indication of any mental problems. And his view is that everyone at that time had what we would call schizophrenia, meaning they all heard they had this hallucination telling them to do whatever they did. Now it may have come through through a man or a certain person. But it's fascinating about.
So would you say the mass religions? There's 1 billion Christians on planet Earth. Are you saying this is a mass schizophrenic mob of people?
Well, no. I think there's something when you said about govern or control. I think if you think one of the things that separates us, man, from animals, although I think animals are sometimes more humane in how they treat each other within their species.
Wow.
I mean, they're kinder to their own. They don't kill their own kind.
Humane is not civil. Humane is just crap we doing.
Right. So it's but I think a lot of religion was a way to quiet the masses so that they didn't become agitated and destroy themselves and each other.
But the word itself, from its Latin root, from its Greek root, means to bind. aren't we supposed to experience some level of freedom in spirituality? That's why I asked the question, what's the difference between religion and spirituality?
Well, what if you're, where are you more free? If you're bound to some religion that tells you to behave a certain way, or what if you're bound to your impulses, that whatever your impulse is, you're going to do? People I know with obsessive compulsive disorder, which is they are in incredible pain. They can't stop washing their hands. They can't stop touching the doorknob. They can't do such and such. So they are prisoners of that thinking. So they are bound to that.
Right.
And in fact, it's interesting, some of the non-medication treatments are retraining what they think so that they can break free of being bound to that obsession.
Wow. And to build on your point, it's how you see or interpret the word anchor. You could be anchored to something which is rooted in something that gives you stability, or you could be anchored in terms of locked into it, where like you said, there's this impulse to just do it. You see? So it just depends on how you translate or how you view it. So maybe you recontextualize how you're anchored. Some people can't function without a particular kind of belief.
Yeah.
Or a particular kind of behavior.
Well, it depends. Yes, I look at an anchor this way. An anchor, not only does it keep you in place, but it stops you from sailing.
Ooh, go deeper. Expound.
If we had everybody in this society thinking free, it's way too hard to pimp them. It's way too hard. It's like trying to chain. It's like trying to train a lion.
So now you're
in
telling
the
me
jungle with a whip and a
So
chair.
now you're telling me education is really indoctrination.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Because really, if education was about the knowledge of self, people cannot be governed. Is that what you're telling me? They would be self-governing.
You know what? If I was high, I would hear you speaking what I'm saying, but it's coming out of your mouth, which has happened to me while I was high. And I just,
But no,
that's
look, a good visual there. An anchor is unnecessary when the water is calm. When it's not calm, it keeps you from, tipping over sometimes.
So what? You need a notebook to listen to this show.
What?
Go deeper, doctor.
Did that make any sense?
It did.
An anchor is not necessary when the water is calm. What?
Wow. 323-965.
think
I
that's
think
true?
sometimes we scare our listeners. Y'all punks. Y'all don't want to call in. Y'all be listening. Y'all tweet, but y'all don't call in. Y'all scary. We try to have these difficult conversations to edify you. Should I put my reverend voice on so you could feel comfortable in calling in? Does God even matter?
Now,
in
do men
society?
cheat? We talk about that, and the lines is on damn fire.
Oh, last week we had, or the week before, we had a bunch of psychics. Everybody want to know about their personal life and if they're going to make money. But when we start talking about your God,
Yeah, don't talk about my God.
we start talking about your God,
Tell me what the number gonna be.
you get scared.
Can you give me a head start on the next week? Don't make me deal with myself right now.
No, but I think what the doc points out is really important. My thing is, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I have a problem if God is real. And this is my problem.
Yeah, because he's slacking on the job. Yeah.
When I see things happening in the world that are horrific, I have to say, what is the point of that?
Yeah, what was the point of the tsunami?
Right? What is the point?
Yeah, why don't you do that, God?
Oh, we have a caller right now. Caller, you're on the line.
What's going on, everybody? It's Saul, right?
What up, man? How you doing, Saul?
What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. The doctor hit a home run with that last statement about the anchor and the water being calm.
man.
You damn sure did, Pimples.
It was something that I saw, and it might have been Bill Maher's Religulous. And he was basically saying that you see the most religious and the most agnostic people at either end of the spectrum. So if they're really rich, they'll either be really religious or really agnostic, and if they're really poor, they'll be really religious or really agnostic. And I think it goes along with directly what the doc was saying.
Wow, that's a great point. Appreciate the call. Thanks again, man. Do you have another question?
No, that was it. I just appreciated that point. That was solid.
Yeah, I mean, he took off from the free throw line with a blindfold on. It's real talk, though. Yeah, man. Thanks for the call.
You know,
thanks.
Thank you. You know, I think if we flip this a little bit, instead of, I mean, we can keep debating about God, but I think if we talked about the soul, because the soul is having God within you, and is because I think there needs to be more a return to the soul. How do we nurture it? How do we protect it? Because so many forces seem to, get in full circle, conspire to destroy the soul within us.
Wow, that is deep. Listen, we got to take a quick break, but before we do, I have to add on to that point. In the Bible, Psalms chapter 82, verse 6, it says, I have said ye are gods and sons of the Most High. When I present this to Christians, they'll say, that's God with a little g. How many times have you heard God with a little g? I say, well, wait a minute, that's English, but this scripture was written in Aramaic. There are no case letters in Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. So when it says ye are gods, it says ye are gods. It don't say little g, big G. Y'all adding on to stuff and you don't know the rules you're trying to play.
Okay.
So listen to the point that I'm trying to make here.
Yes, sir.
The point that I'm making is, if God is within us, do we really need a church? Do we really need an external...
Stop.
Do you understand?
Stop. You're taking all the pimping out.
Oh, no.
Don't take the pimping out. That's
wow.
Okay, first off, you brought up a big point with the little G. And okay.
That's taking the pimping out?
Yeah, no,
okay, so look, hold that thought, because she's telling me we got to go to break.
I got something.
But we'll come back. 323-965-1600. Don't be scared to call. I know we's treading on, sacred ground here, but Jesus.
Y'all blaspheming in there.
Don't do the slave voice. Tell him.
I swear y'all don't. I'm telling Massa, y'all keep talking about how there ain't no Jesus. It's a Jesus. Massa, they been reading again. They reading.
They reading again?
Reading again.
Are you telling? You snitching?
I'm telling. I'm light skinned and I'm telling.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Call us back, 323-965-1600. So What Mornings? We'll be back. Woo! Classic comedy.
The best that ever did it.
The god of comedy.
Yes.
So to speak.
The true king, one of the true kings of comedy.
Yeah. Richard Pryor, the revolutionary comic on God. On the black preacher, how he would have dealt with the Exorcist.
There was before Richard and there was after him. And that's what's up.
Before BR and
yes,
AR.
BP and AP.
Okay, we'll do that. Hey, somebody call us at 323-965. If you have an extraordinary story, and what I mean by an extraordinary story, where God has made his presence or its presence felt in your life. Because I know we're making jokes and we're making fun, but I'm an advocate of God. I believe in God. I wouldn't say that I'm a religious person.
At all.
But I am a deist. I'm not a theist. I don't believe in theology and the dogma and all of the beliefs. But I do believe in the existence of God, because none of this could really be here if there wasn't an intelligent, powerful, infinite force behind it all. So I would label myself more as a deist, one who believes in God, as opposed to an atheist.
I believe like Conan believes. My God's like Crom.
Crom!
My God laughs at your God. Clash you. Crom!
And if you do not exist, then to hell with you.
To hell with you.
Get down now.
Get to the chopper.
So, doctor, we haven't asked the doctor. Pro God, against God. Is God real, or is God a figment of our imagination? Talk to me, Doc. You are a doctor.
I am a doctor, so by nature, I don't know if I should believe or not believe. Go
ahead, tell us the truth, Doc. You're always trying to protect yourself, and not here. Not today. Not on this show.
We won't have it.
Tell us the truth, Doc.
Hit us with it.
I kind of struggle with it, and here's how I handle it. I think there's a purpose to life, beyond what you do on a day-to-day basis. I think there's a higher purpose, and if that higher purpose is connected to God or something, and it brings out the best in us, I don't need to get in the debate. I just think if we could all discover what our purpose is.
What the Buddhists would call, and the Hindus would call dharma, your dharma or your sadhana. What is it?
And here's one of the problems, is that too many people have an agenda, but they don't have a purpose.
Ooh, okay. stop the show. We must go back to commercial break because y'all need to think about that. Did you hear it? Too many people have an agenda. Could you tweet that for us? Too many people have an agenda
On your
but
mind, sitting
not
in church service.
a
You got an
purpose.
agenda, but you don't got a purpose.
Man. No, listen, our relationships are ruined because they're agenda driven, but with no purpose. Why do you want to be married? Because God said so.
So there's your agenda.
Why do you want monogamy? Because it's the right thing to do. Or because your ego says, I should be enough for you.
Wow.
Come on. He said something that was you got the agenda down, but you have no purpose for why the agenda exists in the first place. And usually most of y'all, your agenda is a hand-me-down.
Oh my God.
I think a purpose in a relationship is to love rather than to be loved. And I think when you can love that way and the other person can love that way, love is a verb. You have the chance of building something that is way beyond what either of you could do alone.
Well, I think just on a...
Wait, you had questions.
Yeah, I got
I need you to rattle off these questions. These questions are for Christians and religious folk in general.
No, they're
the
not.
number is 323-965-1600.
I disagree. No, they're not.
Who are they for?
These questions are for black Christians. Those of you who call yourselves African American,
Listen,
Negro, or black.
most of these people are probably got two hands on a piece of chicken right now, and they're not going to be able to call.
Okay.
So let's broaden
That's
our
hilarious.
let's broaden our focus.
Okay, we can broaden our focus. But okay, they're for any Christians, but I came up with them for black people specifically.
323-965-1600.
Okay.
Don't be scared.
Question number 28. If the only way to heaven is to confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, what happened to the millions, the more in the water than made it to land, black slaves that did not speak English, that were not indoctrinated into Christianity,
Were they Muslims?
that were innocently thrown overboard, chained together, drowning in the bottom of the ocean on the way
Well,
here?
it depends on what version of Christianity. And if you're following the Mormons, we're about to have damn near a Mormon president if we ain't careful. Remember, the original Mormon doctrine says black people were cursed because of Ham. And they were cursed to be black. And they had tails like a monkey.
Yes, exactly.
Now this was a Mormon Bible that used to be forced.
Which is why I don't. Which brings us back to Doe. My issue is with black Christians. You have been told over and over that the God in this book don't really like you.
That's the thing that bothers me about black people too. We might be disgruntled with baptism or Baptists or Methodists or whatever, and then we'll join the Mormons without knowing the real history.
Of course.
And then when we find out the real history, then we'll say something crazy like, well, they took that part out of their book now. They not like that no more. Wait a minute. Why would you ever join something that used to be like that?
Well, yes, you know what it's like.
Wasn't the slave master a Christian too?
Yes. Well,
Finish your questions. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. That's hilarious. Question number 12.
Well, we have
how old is the Earth?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
How's the Earth? Just throw that out.
It took 4 days.
Okay.
The Earth is like 2,000 years and 4 days.
Okay.
It was 7 days and everything was done.
Cool.
So you had
I ain't even tripping on that.
You
I
had
ain't even tripping
2,000
on
years
that.
on 7 days. It's 2,007 days old.
I'm just, how you gonna tell me that the Earth is only 5,500 years old or so?
4,000 years old. That's go back 4,004 years.
If the Bible basically from in the beginning to Jesus Christ be with you all, amen. That spans.
Why don't we ask our resident white man, who is the authority here?
Absolutely, ask Whitey. We're just a couple of rambling porch monkeys. Let's just ask you. What say you, white man?
Well, I didn't get a chance to do my ignorant white question because the two of you have been doing it.
What say you, white man? Speak up.
Speak up, white man.
I don't know about the age of the Earth, but something you did just talk about, and it goes back to also this fanaticism and things. When someone says, if you don't believe, you don't go to heaven, are they really saying, if you don't agree with me, you're
going to hell?
And that's different. And that's different. If you don't agree with me, that's different saying if you don't believe. And maybe what's really hurt religion is that it's much more, if you don't agree with me and if you don't believe in this clothing.
Wow.
It gets back to purpose and gender. There's a purpose to believing in something that makes you better, but what if underneath it it's driven by an agenda to make the person who's telling you to believe richer?
So would you say, Doc, would you say religious fanatics are the real conspiracy theorists and thus terrorists?
Wow.
To tie it full circle.
My head's gonna explode.
To tie it full circle. To tie the whole conversation full circle.
Say more about it. Go deep.
Would you say that the religious fanatics of the world, would you say that they are the real conspiracy theorists? Callers, Jesus, 32396. I mean, no offense. I mean, Jesus says, wow. 323-965-1600.
I think the real, whether it's terrorists or fanatics, whatever, I think what they all have in common is if you disagree with me, you are wrong, you are bad, you need to be punished. So they are not able to allow even a difference of opinion.
Wow.
With people, you have a difference of opinion, then you're disagreeing with me, and then you're confronting me, you're challenging me, you are the enemy, and you deserve to be smited down.
You know what? It might be unfair to really even challenge the religious fanatics because God manifests itself through everyone. So
anytime you see excellence.
So at the end of the day, even for a religious person, a fanatic, when God manifests itself, does that then not validate even more their belief in whatever they believe?
No.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It makes them say, I knew that was true.
No, it doesn't.
Listen, Muslims every year circle the Kaaba, which is Arabic word for cube.
Okay.
And then part of that ritual is throwing stones at a pillar that's supposed to be the devil.
Okay.
Now, for a person who is not religious, they might see that as archaic. You know, we understand the symbology of throwing rocks at the devil.
Okay.
But for the most part, any thinking, scientific-driven mind would be like, what kind of cavemannery is
Monkey
this?
knuckle messes.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for someone who has had a religious experience or who feels something with all of those millions of people who are there putting their energy and passion into something, they may feel a divine experience, and that may galvanize their belief.
So talk more about where ritual fits into religion, because that's what you're talking about. It's a ritual.
That's all religion really is. Okay, I hope the people in here religiously brush their teeth. Religion is about habit.
Thus, tradition.
Yes.
Don't change it. Keep it what it is.
Absolutely.
So,
right?
So if you had a brush with the devil, does that mean that you brush your teeth next to him? Never mind.
And the jokes again from
I'm
a doctor.
going to go back to being ignorant white.
No, I'm gonna tell you what,
unfunny.
Man. They can't all be brilliant, man. I understand that. I write jokes. I get.
How many religious people see the devil as just the opposition as opposed to adversity? If you look up the word Satan, it means adversary. An adversary produces our English word adversity. And what would your life be if you couldn't overcome adversity? Does that not then make the devil necessary to your personal development?
I'd be a bush.
You'd be a bush.
I'd be a bush.
What do you mean?
How much adversity have the Bush twins overcome? How much adversity have those people?
Why are you talking about them?
Huh? We talking about the devil, right?
You talking about George W. Bush's
I'm talking about George W. Bush. Okay? That if the devil is in skin, they know where he lives. I'm telling you, dude, them people are evil. I'm saying it straight up.
I don't believe it. Let me do this. I got to make a quick announcement. Listen, directly after my show today, you guys are in for a treat. So we urge and encourage everybody to stay online.
Stay on. This is dope.
The Masterpiece Theater, hosted by Oba Babatunde, actor.
Theater.
Hawk, who goes there? Anyway.
It is I, my lord, desire.
My liege. Anyway, hosted by actor, he's an accredited actor too, Oba Babatunde, is coming up at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. His guests will be the producers, directors, and stars of the hit production Fraternity. All right, so stay here, right here on rmconair.com. Oba Babatunde. This dude is an accredited, accomplished black actor.
Oh my God, killer.
You might remember him as Ray in Life. No, that is him, right?
No, he's not Ray.
Who was he in life? He was the dude.
He was the old dude in the wheelchair that told the whole story.
Yeah, so Ray? Ray.
Ray
was one. It was either
Eddie.
Martin or
Eddie. Was
Eddie.
Ray.
That's right. Who was he in life? But he was the old dude in life.
He was the old dude in the wheelchair that was talking to Heavy D. And
rest in peace, Heavy D.
Yeah, rest in peace. Telling him the story about Martin and Eddie's character.
And them escaping.
Yes.
All right. So this brother's going to be on. I'm telling you.
A bunch of other stuff he been in.
Let me take a quick second to do this. The Poetess is putting together a monster situation over here.
With her fine self.
I mean, she got Dub C.
If I wasn't married, the Poetess could get the business. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, it is kind of delicious.
I don't really mess around with light-skinned girls that much, but I'm telling you what.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. And I heard some
We
rumors.
would be at Roscoe's. We would be leaving Roscoe's in my Ferrari, throwing chicken bones out the window.
You'd be in a jacuzzi full of gravy. Just. I'm just saying, she's cold. Yeah. But she's putting together a monster situation over here. She brought Corey Holcomb. She brought me. She already had the Reach Around radio situation. She brought Don Juan. She brought, Dub C got his own show now.
What?
I mean, the Poetess is putting together a monster situation. If y'all don't know, y'all better know. Y'all got to give her love.
I got to hear Dub C show. I love Dub C. Man,
he's absolutely incredible.
Circle?
323-965-1600 is the number to dial. I can tell the people are still a little weary about this topic, but I believe.
They talking about Jesus. I can't go to
No, but I believe that, the doc points out something. I think there's an inherent arrogance tied into religious people. I'm religious. I'm following this path. And because you're not, I'm better or somehow closer to God than you are.
Cast not your pearls to the swine.
And I believe that a lot of that happens in the black community, too.
Oh, are you kidding?
I mean, you said black people are the most forgiving people in the world. I don't believe that. I believe we're the most unforgiving, especially when it comes to forgiving our own.
There you go. No, but everybody else.
We will forgive all types of oppression. White oppression. We'll let things go. We're the get along to go alongs.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or go alongs to get along, however you say it. But I think we do that when it comes to other races. But when it comes to us, we hold ourselves in contempt more than we hold anyone else.
Because that book that we've been systematically taught.
So you're telling me the religion has taught self-hate?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Because everything that has to do with evil is black somehow. How did that happen? No, let's ask the white man. Yeah, he knows. He's related to them.
Yeah, Whitey, why is everything?
Yeah, Whitey, why is it that way?
I'm sorry, you're going to have to take the heat for
all of the evils that white people have
laid. All I can say is we're vindictive because you stole our pigment.
Ooh. Wow. I don't believe that level of truth. Just wow.
I
got a book on that. Oh, my God. Oh, I can't believe you said that, man. You better.
Damn, we got a caller. Jesus, that was heavy. But it wasn't true. No. Go deeper. Caller, you're on the line.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm alive and well, brother.
My name is Mike.
Mike,
calling from where, Mike?
What's going on?
I just wanted to join in the discussion.
Go deeper.
I feel like religion and spirituality are one and the same.
Okay.
People try to create separation because we look different or because we believe different things, but it's all one universal message. Like gravity is a universal law.
Good point.
And when you think about it, although all of us look different, come from different parts of the world, we are all God's people. We were all created equal. We all bleed the same blood, and we all have eternal spirits and souls.
What's your name again, brother?
Mike.
Michael, right?
That's correct.
Okay, you have a great name. Do you know what it means?
No, what does it mean?
Michael is a very powerful name, religiously speaking.
I know there's an archangel named Michael.
Right, but he was the baddest, coldest, according to, the angel hierarchy. He was the baddest, coldest angel in the whole get down. In the book of Revelations, he was the one that was commanded to take the devil and chain him up and throw him back into hell. He's a cold angel, and his name means who dares to be like God? It's a question. Who dares to be like God? It's a very powerful name.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson.
Michael, there's the doc.
Very powerful
name. Do
name.
you think spirituality is kinder than religion?
Ooh, Jesus. Keep hitting him. Keep hitting him, man.
I think religion is a little bit more strict, and I think religion has a little bit more of people's opinions mixed into it as opposed to the universal knowledge.
Then that kind of, I don't know how that comment can exist with your first comment, which says that they are one and the same.
Well, hold on. And that's a great point. But he also said something that you need to cover as well.
Yeah,
he
you
said,
know what? Okay, then
Michael,
I guess my first comment can't. Yeah.
Right, hold on one second, because we want to give you clarity here. You also said that everybody is equal, but not scripturally speaking.
Yeah, I don't believe
because
that.
there's a chosen group and other people outside of the chosen. Even in the book of Revelation, it says only 144,000 of the chosen will make it, and everybody else is, I mean, it's damn near 7 billion people on the planet Earth.
You know, in my heart, I don't believe that to be true. I believe that we all have the opportunity to focus and change ourselves and follow that right path. It's all about choice.
Then, Michael, I hate to cut you off, but
you did.
I hate that about myself, and I'll deal with that in therapy later. Okay. Michael, what I'm saying is that for you to say that you feel that all people have the opportunity to change, and I agree with that. You saying that all people are made equal, I agree with that. Or no, actually, I don't agree with that. But I agree.
No, all people are not equal, but all people deserve equal opportunity.
Yes. Okay. I agree with that. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that cannot live with what you are saying about religion, because religion runs exactly 180 degrees.
So you're saying religion separates people, it segregates people. Thanks for the call, Michael. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, Michael.
That's a good point. That's what you're saying.
Yes,
religion is the chief separator, right?
Anybody who says that religion and spirituality are the same cannot really be paying attention to what they're saying.
Wow. Caller, you're on the line. Talk to us.
Hi, Lo.
Hey, who is this?
Iris.
Iris, where you calling from?
Compton.
Compton's in the house, without a doubt. I'm the rapper with clout. Everybody rap about. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby girl. What's happening?
I finally got the nerve to call you, Zo.
Oh, well, good.
Make her feel welcome,
Come on in,
you hush
honey.
up, Jeff.
This is your place.
Go on, Iris.
Come
Go
on,
for it.
Iris.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
I'm calling about a subject they talked about earlier.
Okay.
I want to know what's going on with the foxhole. Like, how come you left and you just came back all of a sudden?
Okay, here's the deal. This is the real science right here.
Marcus King beat him up in the parking lot.
No, this is real. At the end of the day, the foxhole is running its course. It's probably going to be done because Fox has new management. Period.
Dun, dun, dun.
Period. So what happens is, to deal with his old management, he might not want to work with those cats no more. So, with that said, anybody that's on Foxhole Radio that represents the old management is getting kicked to the wayside. Okay. Bottom line.
Okay.
So now, we back on because Fox's old management still got a deal in place until the end of the year.
Okay.
So who's to know or who's to say if we still going to be on the air in the new year? We might not be. We might not even make it to the end of the year. But you can always find Zoe over here at rmconair.com. The bottom line is, it's a battle between cats that don't agree with each other no more. And it's a shame because those two cats built an empire. They did some heavy shit together. And the fact that they don't agree or it ran its course, maybe it's natural. Maybe it's something that could have been avoided. But at the end of the day, hold on one second. At the end of the day, that's what happened to the foxhole. And it's going through those palpitations right now.
Help me.
So,
okay.
Thank you for the call.
Well, I hope that you make it to the New Year's.
Well, thank you, honey. I appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Val. Bye.
Could you bring up?
Callers 323-965-1600. What is Jeff pining about?
Oh my God! I need you to bring up Jamie Foxx's Oscar acceptance speech, where he says clearly, "I will never, ever leave my management."
Hey, you know what? Listen. But in relationship,
that made me cry. I was like,
but listen, in relationship, man, sometimes even when those are our intentions, sometimes things just don't work out. Disagreements happen. Sometimes we can't resolve or reconcile whatever those disagreements are, and we wind up eating the words we say. A lot of times people think just because you said something, you're supposed to live up to it. But guess what? You can say a lot of things and not have the ability to live up to it, or not know that something down the road is going to make you change your mind about what you once proclaimed. He deserves the right to change his mind, doesn't he?
You know what you just did? You just untied the shoes of integrity. You just, oh my God. I'm saying something to you right now, but it means nothing. Everything I say means nothing.
Say it again.
You have just untied the shoes of integrity.
I'm not saying the man ain't got no integrity. I'm saying how many times have you said something? How many times have you said something to somebody? You meant it, you believed it, and once you said it, a different situation put you in a mindset to go, damn, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have said that. I feel differently now. 323. Oh, yeah, he been married 3 times. And you done changed your mind several times.
That's hilarious.
Who's
now
on deck, Jeff?
tie your integrity boots back up.
Oh, I can do that real quick. The first time I got married, I was rewriting my mother's past. I was in the process.
Tell us the truth, Lazonda.
Okay, that's the truth. My mother dated and married a tyrant when I was 2 years old. He used to beat me and her.
At 2?
Oh my God.
Were you in diapers?
She was crazy in love with my father, but married this dude to get out of my grandmother's house. He treated us like bovine feces, and I told myself
bovine feces is genius.
That's BF.
He told me I could never be a Marine. I wasn't gonna never add up to nothing. You know what I did when I was 18?
What?
I had colleges courting me for scholarships.
They were dating you?
Oh, dude, they were treating me like an athlete from the scholastic side. I joined the Marines. I found the first girl I could that had a 2-year-old, and I married her so that I could be better than him in my own life instead of living my own mess. That was girl number 1. Girl number 2, my life fell apart financially over bad management. I mean, wow. I was so broke, if it cost a nickel to piss, I'd have had to spit. I was broke.
Damn.
And I got with wife number 2 because I didn't trust God to take care of me. Period.
How much of God interferes with the way we shape our relationships?
Oh my God, dude, that's just what's up. That's for real. You'll throw God in on some mess you did to yourself.
What do you think of that, Mark? How much of God has to do with the quality or lack thereof of our relationship? Is God a hindrance for good relationships? 323-965-1600.
Speak on it, Whitey.
Whitey deep.
I think you can use God if it can help you to be a little more civil and less vindictive and retaliatory. Because when you get retaliatory and it escalates and what started out as just a disagreement turns into a full-scale war, you're going to destroy something. And you're going to, speaking about saying things that you don't mean, you know, there's a number of things you can say in a relationship that can't be taken back. And
that's it.
Wow. And you knew you just meant them in the heat of the moment, but after you've said them, the other person holds on to them. Even, and here's the irony, is after you say those things that can't be taken back, if the relationship survives the next few moments, you actually feel loving towards that person because you got all that stuff off your chest. Unfortunately, it landed on their face.
Yeah, the damage is done.
Damage is done.
I can say I've never done that.
Jeff?
I swear to God, I have never done that.
I'm taking bets.
I've never, because I am very, I'm very clear with my words. I have never ever said something I didn't mean. I have said some of the most hateful, venomous mess in the world.
But you meant every...
And I meant every syllable.
Okay.
I have never said things I've had to apologize for doing things, but not for saying them.
Wow. So listen, let's do this. We only have 5 minutes left in the show. What I want to do is always promote our wares and what we're doing. Jeff, where are you going to be next? You're a comedian. You travel. You do all kind of stuff. Talk to us.
I'm
What's
doing
next?
some hosting at the Taste of Los Angeles, I believe it is.
Oh,
Tasting.
yeah,
I'm doing some stuff with that. Shout out to Rava Harrell. I love you, mama. That's my girl. And you can find me in the lab, dude. I'm about to just launch Jeff 7 music so hard.
GB1.
That's gonna be the nickname. I'm scared because I'm scared of Stevie.
Don't be scared of Steve. He can't see you. You can always duck him. You can always duck him.
I didn't say that, Stevie. But yeah,
Stevie talked about his own blindness.
Jeff Brown, GB Funny Style.
Good job. Twitter?
Yes, GB Funny Style. I don't tweet. I must tweet more.
Yeah, and why don't you put a picture up? Did you do that yet?
I haven't done that yet.
Okay, wow. Okay, thank you. Out the way. Mark, you have a picture on your Twitter. Where can they find you, bro?
Go to markgoulston.com, MarkGoulston.com, and if you like some of the stuff that I say, which I would like to take back, but some of the stuff you can actually may want to keep, you sign up. Put your email in at markgoulston.com. I have a mailing with tips to give you a better life and a little bit of humor. They're not as funny as my funny friends here, but yeah, it might make you smile.
Absolutely. This is Zoe Williams, and you guys can always follow Zoe Williams. Always follow me at Zoe Williams on Twitter. That's where you can follow me. You can also join my Facebook page. It's very important that you guys recognize I'm coming out with a new book, The Relationship Dismount. It is a breakup guide, but it's deeper than just breaking up. It's a relationship guide. It's trying to give some spiritual, philosophical, psychological insights on relationship. It's cold. Give them the whole title. The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing. Most people don't stick the landing. They just they jack the landing up and take all that relationship debris with them into the next situation. So it's a great book. I finished it a couple weeks ago. It's being edited right now. We're looking at a February launch, 2013. Also, The Voice of Reason on Foxhole Radio, Foxhole 98. Back in the building. Y'all got to get at us. It's going to be crazy. Got a new time from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Somebody call us and let us know what we doing. You know how we do over there. And also, I need you to donate to my son, his basketball team, varsity basketball, Santa Monica High School. He's a sophomore, second year on varsity. The young lion. He's wild. If you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I got a video posted of him banging out on it like a G. Check him out. Oh, yeah, he's banging out. He's crazy. Donate to his team. IamAthlete.com/donate/ Samohi. That's SAMOHI. We really, really, really need your donations. Get at Zoe Williams. Follow me at Zoe Williams. I appreciate everybody. We will be back next week with another heater. Zoe Williams, The Zoe What Show. Jeff Brown, Mark Goulston in the building. See you next week. Deuces.
Love you, mean it.